Good evening and thanks for being a part of the program. It can't help but feel like I have a bit of a captive audience this evening, and certainly more so tomorrow, because the outside is going to be the last place you're going to want to be. Our focal point now, as we mentioned last night and have known for the past few days, is this Arctic front that's really going to give us not record lows, but certainly history-making lows. I actually looked last night in a discussion, and I'll talk more about it tomorrow when it's a little more appropriate. We're in the midst of all these minus 10, 15 wind chill and actual temperature degree situations. Minus 37 degrees is the low recorded in Kentucky. I think that was outside the Shelbyville area or Louisville area back around 94, if I'm not mistaken. They established a record low of a minus 37 in Kentucky, and I can recall minus 30 here in Montgomery County during my younger days. So we'll talk more about those records, which we're not going to get to that degree, but nevertheless, it's going to be dangerously cold. And in fact, we've already learned of a couple of deaths in Kentucky associated with the cold to some degree as well. Local headlines tonight will include talking to some folks who have been very busy throughout all of this cold weather, local first responders and the State Highway Department, and how they're focusing now on the cold temperatures and not just the snow removal. We'll get to all of that in just a second. Here are, and I hesitate to use the word highlights in tonight's forecast, but here's what we're going to outline for you in a few moments. And that is the record cold temperatures, which remain in our forecast through tomorrow night. And everyone's eyes right now are steered toward a potential high-impact storm system arriving over the course of the weekend. Insult to injury, to say the least. Snow showers are diminishing in intensity tonight. Additional accumulations after dark should remain at an inch or less from all of these squalls, which have been just filing in one after the other into the eastern Kentucky and viewing area over the course of the afternoon. Forecast lows tonight for some folks are 5 to 12 below zero. I'll give you hours in just a few moments. And a wind chill warning will be issued to highlight the chills between, that's wind chill factor, mind you, 15 to 30 below zero overnight and into tomorrow morning. High temperatures tomorrow in the single digits, and due to the deep snow cover and high pressure that is moving overhead, there is a potential for those dangerously cold temperatures tomorrow night. Our current forecast low temperatures for tomorrow night range from 10 to 20 below zero, and there is potential for those numbers to be even colder. And like I said, forecast models right now indicate the potential for additional hazardous weather from Friday night into the weekend. Precipitation possibly beginning as a mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain Friday night, and then transitioning to rain by Saturday into Saturday night before changing back to all snow before it ends as the weekend does. Like I said, highlight's not the best term. We've got a lot of ground to cover weather-wise. Like I said, we have learned that there have been 2 deaths that to some degree may have been attributed to the cold weather. They're both in central Kentucky, where a man was identified as 56-year-old James David Clifton. He was discovered in an abandoned trailer in a mobile home park in Fayette County, and the cold weather is believed to be at least part certainly at fault for his death. And also a nurse from the University of Kentucky Hospital was discovered dead. The coroner report, from what I understand, indicates that the severe cold as well as alcohol and a fall outside of her residence may have all attributed to her death as well. And it's not Kentucky news, but just caught my eye coming into the newsroom. A pharmacist is not facing charges right now after he shot a suspect in an attempted robbery at a pharmacy in West Virginia, in or near Kanawha County in the community of Pinch. The robbery was reported at a Good Family Pharmacy. The sheriff's department there says a man walked into the store, pulled out a gun, and the pharmacist apparently had his own gun and shot the man. Police say he was shot in the chest, was taken to a nearby hospital. And investigators say at this point they have no plans to charge the pharmacist because it appears as though it was an act of self-defense. So it appears as though the gunman is still alive at a nearby hospital per our last report. And I'm actually just seeing here that the suspect in that attempted pharmacy robbery has died as a result of that gunshot wound when the pharmacist was defending himself and fired at the suspect after the suspect had drawn a weapon on the pharmacist. Going on to our next story, we'll talk with Steve Howard of the State Highway Department here in Montgomery County, who, as you well know, has been one of many who have been out working to keep the roads clear as much as possible. As soon as they do make some progress for the first onset of the storm, of course, it was erased immediately by another round of snow showers, which have had crews working around the clock.
We have run 24 hours. We've got 2 crews running 16 hours on each shift. Of course, 8 of those hours, you know, both crews are up there at the same time. That's 7:30 to 4. But we always keep a crew on from 4 to 12, and then another crew comes on from 12 and runs the midnight shift, we call it. And so we're running around the clock right now. Today, of course, you know, we got that inch and a half this morning, kind of messed everything up. But we've got our A roads, what we call our priority roads A. We got those in good shape. We've been going to B roads now and getting those in good shape. And we're going to try to get all of our C roads treated before tonight, because we're going to shut everything down at midnight tonight. So after midnight tonight, and probably not even tomorrow, nothing will be treated unless, you know, the only thing we can do then is plow. So we're hoping we can get all of our C roads by midnight and get some treatment on them. And if nothing else, if it don't thaw it out tonight on the C roads, at least it'll have some treatment there. And if a peak of sun was to ever come out, it'll help. And it'll also help with traction also.
Howard refers to the treatment that they put on the roads, including salt and calcium, as providing traction, because as cold as it's going to be, salt combined with the calcium won't offer much thawing potential.
Salt by itself generally will work down somewhere around 22, 23 degrees, 24, and I'm pushing it when I say that. It gets under 25, it's really slow about breaking any ice or any snowpacks that's built up on the road. But we have what we call liquid calcium that when we salt, our trucks have little sprayers on the back, and they'll spray that liquid calcium on the salt, and that lets us perform all the way down to about 12 degrees. That's pushing it too. Anything under 15 slows it down dramatically. Under 12, it just won't do anything.
And while Howard says they've been working very hard to try to keep up with Mother Nature during the heavy snowfall, one thing they have not had to worry about this year, unlike year before last, when they were in the same position as everyone else in the state of Kentucky, is their supply of salt and calcium.
We're still in the conserve mode a little bit, but up in our dome right now, I've probably got around 300 or 400 tons today, right now, and we're using it right now as we speak. My liquid calcium, we've got a 5,800 gallon tank up there, and we're down to 1,000 gallon, but District 10 has some on hand, and they're going to bring us some in the morning. So we should be all right with salt and calcium. So everything. We can haul from the Wolfe County Dome. There's a big dome down there right off the Mountain Parkway. You can see it when you go to Lexington there. They got plenty of salt, so we'll have to haul it ourselves and bring it up here, and that takes away from the road. So now we actually hauled salt in from 4 o'clock to midnight last night. We hauled 2 rounds with 6 trucks.
And lastly, Howard offered apologies for something he says that there's just simply no answer for, and that's where the snow ultimately has to go after it's removed from the roads.
I appreciate how everybody's been, and we have had some complaints about snow building up on the driveways, but really nothing we can do about that. We have to clear the roads, and I'll apologize right now for anybody that we have blocked your driveway after you've shoveled it, but we have nowhere else to put it, and we actually can't clear the driveways as we go. I mean, it's just impossible, and we don't have enough manpower to come out and dig it out for you by shovels. We just can't leave our operations, and apologize for that. We've got guys out at the garage right now working. Their driveways are the same way. They don't have time to even go shovel it out, so I just hope everybody understands that, and we do the best we can. We got to keep the roads clear for emergency vehicles and things like that, and for yourself so you can get out too. So, but we appreciate it. The county's been really good.
On last night's program, I put out a plea for some snowmen pictures, to which I've been receiving quite a few. We'll talk about that and some efforts of local first responders and other news right after these messages. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. While our community calendar's been a little void for the past several days because, well, basically just everything has been canceled, I've got a rescheduling for you tonight. More on the calendar in a few moments, but I want to make sure I mention it now. So, as to get it out there a couple of times tonight from Marlene Howard down at the McGoffin County Senior Citizen Center, the food box distribution, which was set for tomorrow, has been bumped up a week to next Thursday on the 26th. I'm sure she'll, as she always does, send me an announcement next week, and I can remind you leading up to it. But the food boxes will be handed out next Thursday on the 26th at the McGoffin County Senior Citizen Center. If you've been out on the roads, or if you have a radio scanner in your home, I don't need to remind you about the efforts of local first responders. It's been quite prevalent. They've been very busy making dozens and dozens and dozens of runs in assistance with individuals as far as medication or heat, seeing that nursing home employees are able to get into and from work, as well as assisting the local ambulance service. It's been an ongoing effort that's been basically around the clock for the McGoffin County Rescue Squad. Captain Carter Conley says it's something they expect every time we have weather of this nature, and something that they all continue to do to support the community.
We just counted up, we've had about 45 medication, kerosene, runs, and something else maybe mixed in there. Besides that, we've had 6 EMS calls with the ambulance service where we had to transport them out to the ambulance, and we've had no accidents, fortunately, but now when the road's clear, speed picks up. So be careful, because there's all kinds of slush built up on the side, and you get off a little bit and it'll start pulling you in and pull you away from the roadway. So be careful, drive still careful in the next couple of days, because the temperatures are going to freeze and stuff on the roadway. If you have a true emergency medical, then go through 911 and they will dispatch us with the ambulance service to see that you get, if it's a bad road. A lot of the side roads at the head of the hollows are still, the county has not got to them. Some of these places we've had to actually break our own trail to get into, to take kerosene, take medication. So we'll still be available for that. We've also transport from the nursing home, and from the nursing home to homes. Just this morning we had 8 we had to transport to keep their staff up. I know a lot of them still haven't been able to come into work. Some of them have them doing double shifts, so we're trying our best to keep them with their staff people in between calls that we answer. So I'm sure that we'll do our best, as you can say, to keep the staff at the nursing home in there to help the ones that are here in McGoffin County, and then the ones of now the county. So if you have an emergency, go through 911. If you have a problem with, you need kerosene, we cannot haul LP tanks, gas, but we can bring you kerosene. We do ask you to help pay for it and reimburse us, and we'll bring a receipt to you how much it is. Medication, you call the pharmacy and let us know, then we'll go by and pick it up. So hopefully in the next couple of days the roads will get better, but I do understand sometimes that the slush and stuff is going to freeze with the temperatures tomorrow, and we'll still be available. We have been here for over 41 years, and we'll still be available for the services that's needed for this county.
I asked Conley if there was anything the squad needed in return. He said actually they were doing well on food. A lot of individuals had been bringing food into the station, and then also the county was covering all of the fuel costs, which of course will be above and beyond their normal usage for this time of year. So he said as of right now, except for manpower, which they could always use a little more of, they were faring rather well considering the circumstances and conditions, which may be getting worse for the weekend. That's another story coming up in your weather forecast. I also need to take a moment to remind everyone that a warming shelter has been established at the Sayersville Fire Department in downtown Sayersville. They have plenty of seating, they've got plenty of coffee, I'm told, and they have the doors open there and the heat on 24/7. And with the incoming inclement, to put it very mildly, weather tonight and certainly tomorrow into tomorrow night, it's a place that we hope individuals who have the need will utilize, a warming center at the Sayersville Fire Department. With that said, here's some other announcements on tonight's calendar, brought to you as always by McGoffin Farm Bureau. Calendar announcements kicking off with a birthday wish to a now 35-year-old, I understand, Justin Grace. Happy birthday, Justin. From a whole lot of fam and friends, happy birthday to you. And 30 years to the younger, a happy 5th birthday to Chance Lee Nicely. Today's his birthday, and from Julie, and from Flip, and from Juliana, and from Jaden, and Haley, and Yvonne, and Jacob, and Bella, happy birthday, happy 5th to Chance Lee Nicely. Now, I had some calendar announcements come in that I don't have typed up, so as we take a little look at that snowfall from a day or two ago, as we still have some flying around this evening, the McGoffin County Courthouse is going to be closed due to the inclement weather tomorrow and Friday, so the courthouse in McGoffin County closed the rest of this week, and the Lloyd M. Hall Community Center in McGoffin County also closed the rest of this week due to the cold weather. And on the heels of that, a reminder that the McGoffin County Senior Citizens food boxes won't be distributed tomorrow due to the weather, but on next Thursday. And remember, all calendar announcements are free. Mail them to us, phone them in, fax them in, email them, Facebook me at Ritt or Mortimer on Facebook, or drop them off here at the newsroom, which is hard to do. Don't make an extra special trip to do that right now. But get your announcement to us when you can, and we'll let everyone know about it. Turning to funeral service announcements, funeral services for Jeff Harper have been reset once again for tomorrow at 1 o'clock from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. That's the third time that they've reluctantly had to reset services due to the weather. Also, services to be held Friday morning at 11 for Anna Mae Patrick Arnott, 84 of Sagersville, preceded in death by her husband Blake. She survived by her son Loyal. Visitation is this evening. It's all day tomorrow and prior to services once again Friday at 1 o'clock, all of which from the McGoffin County Funeral Home, and burial will follow thereafter at the Blake Arnott Cemetery at Fritz. Once again, 84-year-old Anna Mae Patrick Arnott of Sagersville. We've also been told of the passing of 73-year-old Kenneth Coburn of Burning Fork, who passed away on Saturday, surviving our 4 daughters and 4 sons. Visitation will be after 5 o'clock tomorrow evening and prior to services Friday morning at 11, all of which from the Sagersville Funeral Home Chapel. Burial will follow services at the Sagersville Funeral Home, when they will have interment at the Calvin Kane Cemetery on Rock House for Kenneth Coburn of Sagersville. We've also learned of the passing of 68-year-old Ollie James Holbrook of Middle Fork, who passed away on Monday, the son of the late Earl and Rushi Holbrook. He's survived by 6 daughters and 1 son, with visitation this evening, all day tomorrow, and prior to services Sunday at 2. Visitation and services will be from the Right Hand Fork United Baptist Church, with burial at the Holbrook Memorial Cemetery, while the Sagersville Funeral Home is in charge of all arrangements. And we've also learned of the passing of 68-year-old Janice Faye Shepherd Fitzpatrick of Royalton, who passed away on Tuesday, survived by her husband Walter and sons Jeff, Greg, and Billy Joe. Also daughters Amanda Fitzpatrick and Rebecca Arnott. Visitation will be after 5 o'clock tomorrow. It will continue all day Friday and until services Saturday morning at 11, all of which from the McGoffin County Funeral Home Chapel. Burial is thereafter at the Fitzpatrick Cemetery on Punchin. And lastly, this evening, services have been reset for 89-year-old Ella Isaac Ward of Lick Creek, who passed away on Sunday. She was married to Hassel Ward, who preceded her in death. She survived by sons Danny and Ronnie and daughters Shirley Johnson and Fanny Watson. Visitation and services from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Visitation after 10 o'clock on Saturday, prior to services, which will be the same day, Saturday at 2, in her honor. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Well, on last night's program, I put out a little plea for pictures of snowmen, offering maybe something sweet for one that might be picked as the cutest or coolest. I have no idea who's going to make that choice or even how they're going to make it as of right now. I'm going to lay that off on someone else. I just need the pictures. So I wanted to make another plea tonight to keep sending them in. We'll leave the contest, if you want to refer to it as that, open for the next few days. But I also need a little help with one in particular that was sent to me sometime since last night.
And you know what? As for finally, some good luck would have it, no I don't. I thought I'd lost one. I hit the delete button on an email that was sent to me that had a picture attached, and then I couldn't find it anywhere in the trash bin. I found it. I'm good. So now just let me put that plea back out there once again. I was so stressed out about that. I had no idea who had sent it because I'd erased it before it was even read. So, I feel much better. If you got a snowman you built, take a picture. I'm going to show them all. And like I said, I've got a blizzard cake and 4 blizzards from Dairy Queen for whoever I find to make the choice thinks is the cutest or coolest. Send them to my email at yournewstoday@yahoo.com, or you can go to Ritter Mortimer on Facebook and send them to me that way. Either way, send them to me. You've got a few more days. Snow's going to be around that long, and then we'll see what kind of creative snowmen or women you can come up with, because I wasn't planning on going to this clip. We have a lot of material to work with, and some more, sadly, in the forecast. Now for a very stern warning from your Licking Valley RECC forecast. We'll end today somewhat where we started, at -6 degrees. That's where my morning started here at the newsroom, and that's our expected nighttime low. As far as all the snow showers, they're diminishing to flurries throughout the rest of the evening. A few more spurts here and there. Accumulating snow should be ending. However, the fluffy nature of that snow will allow for areas of blowing and or drifting snow through this early evening if you're catching the early show. And the combination of falling temperatures tonight and winds 10 to 15 miles per hour will create wind chill readings between -15 and -30 below tonight through Thursday. That's serious, to say the very least. The winter weather advisory is in effect until 1 a.m., a wind chill warning in effect from 7 tonight till 1 tomorrow, a wind chill advisory in effect from 1 tomorrow through 8 a.m. on Friday. The winter storm warning in and of itself has been canceled. But we're talking about serious conditions out there this evening. We're talking about a low of 6 degrees, winds factored in, as I said, gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour at time, and that will give wind chill factors right around the -14 to -15 degree range. And in some conditions, I don't know if we'll see it in the viewing area, but some folks could get in a -20, -30 degree reading for wind chills. I'm hoping we'll stay closer to 10 to 14 or 15 degrees, but in all actuality, you have to at some point say, well, what's the difference? It's all dangerous. And that just indeed is the fact. So after tonight, we'll see some scattered showers scattered flurries, my apologies, after 7 in the morning. Otherwise, just mostly and cloudy and cold on your Thursday. We'll see 4 degrees if we're lucky for daytime highs. Wind chills again tomorrow, -15, -20 degrees. Almost a certainty, and for some folks, maybe even worse off than that, that's during the day. Tomorrow night's low will be close to that in real temperature at around a -16 degrees. By that time, those winds will start to calm down. We hope sooner than later, and wind chills will not be much worse than that -16 we're going to have to endure during the overnight hours tomorrow night. Friday, we'll climb back to about 18 degrees for daytime highs and only change from a high to low 4 degrees to 14 for the low on Friday night. The sunshine will return, and that's where we're going to start working on trying to keep up with what might be setting in for the weekend. We're talking about snow and sleet moving in on Friday night, and Saturday being full of rain, snow, freezing rain, and sleet, some rain, and then snow on the back end of it all before it wipes out and pulls out of here on Sunday. It's going to be a potential wintry mess, the likelihood of which looks more so than what I would really like to see at this hour. And the intensity follows that line as well. I'm not liking at all what we're looking forward to possibly happening before the weekend, and that's going to be after tomorrow's and tomorrow night's temperatures, and tonight's, mind you, that could be deadly for some folks. Stay inside, stay warm, keep an eye on your neighbors, your loved ones, your pets, your elderly, and everything in between, and everyone, certainly. We'll talk more about the record lows that we expect to see set for tomorrow's date and how they compare to other lows which have been set across the state of Kentucky throughout history, with more news when I see you back here next time. For now, thank you, and good night.